Hey, what's up, everybody? Nick Underhill for NewOrleans.Football, and you're watching The Dot presented by Matt Bowers Auto Group. We're still running down the clock until draft time comes, but until then, make sure you're keeping it locked with us here on NewOrleans.Football. We have a 20% off sale on the first payment of any plan with the code DRAFTSEASON. And we also have our WordPress community where people submit their questions each week for this video. So if you are on the site, hit me up. Make sure you're part of that community. And we got 3 good questions for you this week. The first one comes from Andrew, who asks if there is a prospect you've been looking at outside of round 1 that you'd like for the Saints to draft. The one guy I do like is Penn State safety Jaquan Brisker. I think he does everything that the Saints like out of that position. And if Dennis Allen's goal is to have 2 interchangeable safeties, between him and Marcus May, I think they could get that combo of one guy playing deep, one guy coming down, and create that disguise and have both of them making plays in the box. So he's somebody I am looking at in that second round. I don't know if he'll last all the way to 49, but if he does, I think he'd be a great fit for this defense. The next question comes from Trey Harris, who asks, did Jarvis Landry leave town yet, and what's the latest? He had his meeting yesterday, and it sounds like right now things are just on hold until they can maybe find a deal that makes sense, or maybe even see what happens in the draft. With that about a week away, it doesn't make a lot of sense right now to sign a ton of players and put on a lot of salary until you know exactly who is going to be on your roster. And then in the case of someone like Tyrann Mathieu, if there is any interest there, the thing to keep in mind is that for players who became free agents were not cut. Landry was cut, so he doesn't qualify for this. But guys who became free agents, they would count against the comp pick formula right now if they were to sign with the team. Doing that after the draft does not count. So the Saints are right on the fringe right now of getting one of those picks. Adding a player would probably put them on the wrong side of it. So if there is any interest in any of those guys, doing it after the draft makes a lot more sense. And our last question comes from, I don't even know how to say this, but I'm just going to say Gio Rabo 03. What's the likelihood that the Saints trade up in the draft? They have 7 picks currently, and I feel like they won't be using all of them if recent history tells us anything. I think the Saints are always going to be a team that has aggression in their DNA. Just going out and getting that other first round pick signifies that in and of itself. But the thing to remember here is that what happened in recent history doesn't necessarily matter as much since Sean Payton is no longer part of this franchise. So I think maybe that aggression might change a little bit. I wouldn't be shocked to see it trade back at some point, which is something they really never did with Sean Payton here, just because there are now different people in that room. And look, Mickey Loomis, Jeff Ireland, they were always part of that. That DNA doesn't change, but taking Peyton's aggression out of that room, I think might change how some of the things operate. So that's all we got for this week. We'll keep it locked. All your draft coverage, all of that will be on NewOrleans.Football.